will send you girls the login, but you can click on the login page. So, first question you need to ask the customer, is it going to a business or a residence? That's the most important, because if you can get it to go to a business or a loading dock, it will cut our cost down by half. So if it's going to a residence, it will need a lift gate, and the reason that the residence is more expensive is because they have to get a shorter truck with a lift gate, so the customer doesn't have a forklift. If it's going to a business, typically they will have a forklift or a loading dock. So when you're booking the address, loading dock or forklift, business or residence. Just ask if it's business or residence. So this is the main hub. If someone's going to bug you on tracking numbers, everything that we ship, this is the main portal. You can see the status. You can see the status here, either delivered or in transit. You can press the track button. You can have proof of delivery. So let's say the customer says it's damaged, and we have to do a claim. You can actually see if they signed for damage or not. You can see the bill of lading number. You can track it to the person. But if you hover over the addresses, you'll see the customer's name. So you have to actually hover over the destination and actually see the customer's name, and that's how you know which bill of lading is the one that is for your customer. But that's not how you book the shipment. That's just if you want proof. So you can click on the bill of lading number also, and you can see the tracking number, the terminal information. You can see what we shipped, all that good information. So just poke around. So we're back on the home screen. If you want to book a shipment for the first time, you're going to go under shipments, under rates, and we're always going to choose LTL, and that stands for less than truckload. So less than truckload is the only one we're going to choose. So we're going to click on less than truckload. So this is where you're going to build out the quote. So origin is where it's coming from, destination is where it's going. Origin is going to be our city. Every single time it'll be auto selected because we're a business, so you won't have to fill in anything here. But what you want to make sure is you select the pickup date. If you forget this step, you actually will have to cancel out all 4 of the steps to backtrack and change the pickup day, which happens to me quite a bit. So for this one, we want it picked up today. So pickup date is today. You don't have to touch anything else for ours because they know it's a business and it's selected for a business. Destination, you're going to type in the city zip code, so 37912. It's going to pull up all the possible zip codes. So this one only has one, so it's Knoxville. It's auto selected to business. We have to change it to residence, and you have to select the lift gate. Lift gate does cost us more money, but it's required for any residence. Now, just because I've been doing it for a while, I'll give you guys a sheet, but this is where we're going to do the pallets. You'll see the add row button right here. If it's multiple pallets, it costs us more money. But we have to get exact dimensions. So if it's one pallet like an ATV, or you can get 2 side by side, typically 2 ATVs side by side are going on a 6-foot pallet. So after about 2 or 3 shipments, you guys will have an idea, and what I'll do is I'll make a spreadsheet for you so you know exactly what size pallet to plug in. So first one is pallet or non-standard pallet. These are the only 2 options we choose. If it's going on a standard small pallet, it's going on a 40 by 48, which is standard, or pallet is a non-standard, which means you're going to plug in the dimensions because it's going on a larger pallet or it overhangs or something like that. So most of what we do is non-standard because it's large. So non-standard, number of units 1, description what it is. Now I like being very vague on this because if you put ATV gas, blah blah blah, they'll flag it. So usually I'll just put one word. I'll either put toolbox or I'll just put ATV, just very generic. This number I'll write down for you guys, but it's gonna be the same number in all of them. And then the class will be the same, which is 100, which for POWERSPORTS toolboxes is always class 100. If this is classed wrong, let's say you try to get 80, we put 85, they'll actually reclass it, reweigh, and then charge you double. Number of pieces, 1, and then the weight. It depends on what it is, but let's say it's the 2 ATVs. You can look on the website, and if it's They're saying net weight is 270. A pallet weighs about 20 pounds. So add 20 pounds to whatever the website says. So for these two ATVs, they're about 100 pounds a piece. So we'll do 220. Now, it is super important we do not guess at the weight or the dimensions because they reweigh every single shipment. So if you guess at the weight or guess at the dimensions, you're going to see that the total density is going to change. When they reweigh it, they will reclass it and then charge us 3 times double. So this can't be something that we half-ass. So all the pallets are 72 inches wide, or 17 inches long because it's a long 6-foot pallet that we're using. The width is 48, and then the height is 30 inches. This is something that you might have to measure yourself for the first couple if it's something that's oddball.
And is that every pallet or just the one we're talking about right now?
So a 6-foot pallet is always going to be 72 by 48. The only thing that's going to change is your height, depending on where it comes up to the handlebars.
Okay.
So dimension 72 by 48 is a standard, is a standard 6-foot pallet, and then the normal square pallets are 48 by 40.
So for height, do we measure the bottom of the pallet to the handlebars?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So then height. So you'll see that your density is already calculated. Now here, if we want to insure it, this is where you put the value of the cargo. Unless it's a toolbox, usually they don't get damaged, so I don't actually insure them. And then if it's 2 pallets, you'll click an add row, you do the same exact thing. Now, once that's all plugged in, you make sure you have residence and liftgate. You're going to click on select carrier. Now, this is the most important part because a lot of your stuff has timelines. So this is going to give you every possible carrier that's available and how much it is, starting by the lowest price, but you're going to see the estimated transit time here. Not all of them, some of them will get 7, 8, 9 days.
Yeah, $4,000.
Some of them have 1 day. No, this is the value.
Oh.
These are going to be the prices, with and without shipping. So we put 4,000 as the value. You can buy it with or without insurance. Most of the stuff everything's going to be purchased without insurance. So typically what I do is I'll see who's the cheapest and who's the quickest. You have to make sure that you don't just select Estes because it's the cheapest, because it could be 14-day transit time. Usually it's only a couple dollars apart. So, and after a while we'll actually learn which carriers you guys like and don't. For example, Forward Air is the one that returned every shipment to us because it had gas and oil in it, and they're being really, really shitty with us. So I don't ever select Forward Air. SD, Central Air, R&L carriers, UPS, those are the bigger ones. So I just go with the ones that are seamless, the ones that show up on time. You guys will take note on who doesn't come and who's late and who makes you guys late. Those are usually the ones I start gravitating away from, and I'll just pay the extra $3 or $4 for the bigger lines because I know they'll get there in time and they'll show up on time. So we'll select without insurance. Alright, so you put the name, address, information in here. Make sure it matches. Zip code and all the information will fill back in. Company name is going to be if it's a business, but you have to also put in if it's a contact name. It has to be in both fields. Phone number. And then email. It is a lot easier if you put the email in. You're not required to, but you do want to include it because then you can email the customer. And then right here, you're going to put under email notifications, and you can actually select all, so when it gets dispatched, picked up after delivery, the customer doesn't have to bug you. And then right here is what time it's ready. You're always going to do between 2 and 6, and you'll see the pickup day here. If you forget to change that at the beginning, you're going to see that you can't change the pickup day here, so you have to go back to the beginning. Click on the next button, and then here's your summary. You have to click on I agree to terms on the bottom, and click on book it. And then from there you can print the bill of ladings. You can download it, or you can just print. Now you need 1 for every pallet, and then you need 2 for the driver. So typically if it's 1 pallet, you'll print 3. If it's 2 pallets, you'll print 4. But you have to have 2, 1 for the driver, 1 for you, and 1 for the pallet. So you print 3 copies, and then you are done. You can also save the quote, and you can actually go back to the home screen, and you can actually see everything's pending. And there you go. It is ready to roll.